I was muted. I've made that mistake many times. I was like, I'm gonna start talking. It's like, my phone. Thank you, Elena. Thank you, Strident. You two are great. What was I gonna say? I always make a weird face when I start streaming. Maybe not always. If I'm tired, it's like, hey y'all, you excited? But sometimes I'll be like, I'll turn the stream on. And I'll be like, hello, because I don't know what else to do. Don't be like that. Oh, I gotta send the Twitter. Do a Twitter. Unlimited subscriber to tier 1 for 3 months. I'm saying I've missed this. Wish we did it more. Buddy. Thank you. I'm sorry, guys. Wait, I gotta send the tweet now. I've been dealing with some stuff. And I say, people say that, and I was like, oh, no, but you know how things are when, you know, you're needed. Hey, Lude. You know, just, I was needed. And now I need you to watch me really mess up this case. Because as you guys can tell, this case is not obvious like the other ones. It's like where it's like, oh, he said there's no murder weapon. I think I'll present the murder weapon. This case is a lot more subtle and at times a bit obtuse. But yeah, no, I've yeah, stuff's been happening. And there really should be a more eloquent follow-up to stuff's been happening, but I don't. But I'm happy to see you guys. I'm super jazzed. Pin the tweet thing. Just, sound levels and video should be the same as last time. If, I do have a fan running in the background because it's hot in Montreal. It's so hot. And I'm an idiot who never buys AC because I tell myself I'm going to buy an air conditioning and then I forget to buy an air conditioning and then it gets hot. But this time of year, if you're going to buy an air conditioning, you're going to get gouged. And I'm stupid enough to forget to buy an air conditioning. And but I'm also stubborn enough to not want to buy it when the prices are too high. And you know what, Elena? Yes, in Canada, it is only hot maybe a few weeks out of the year. But when it's hot, it's pretty hot. Like, our igloos melt and everything. It's terrible. Alright. Okay. So it's been like 2 weeks. Probably forgot how to do some more voices. Well, no. Actually, I think we've got a pretty good grasp on everyone. I learned my lesson after the first few cases that, okay, not to make them too wildly different. Try to make them adhere to the character. The Walken von Karma is you know, that's gonna be something I tell my robot grandkids. It's like, when I was a streamer back before your hollow tubers. It's coming, you know it's coming. I mean, it's kind of what's already happening with the virtual YouTubers, but anyway. I'm going on a lot of tangents. Oh, man. Alright, let's throw ourselves back into this, chums and chumettes. Alright. Oh, I'm like, I hope we finish we're in the final day of the final case, but it's a ride from here, so buckle in. Hey, Doomian, I am back. Woot and Ute. I'm so old. Oh my god. Let us load the selected save data. As always, if there are problems with the audio and the video, please tell me. I want you guys to be... I'm saying it's sarcastic, but I do want you to be entertained. I hope you guys are having a good time. Yeah, we fucking around. Alright. Okay. Ooh. I just want to say something about how ill-fitting that one of, like, first of all, these guys are clearly twins. Second of all, the one that's closer to the screen, which is, I guess he's on my left, I don't like how ill-fitting his uniform and hat are. Maybe he's got bad posture, I don't know, but it's something about it really bothers me. Oh man, online arguments are fun. They are fun, kids. All right. Also, I'm in a neighborhood where when it gets really hot, we get brownouts and the power goes. So if everything suddenly disappears, it happens maybe like once a week or two. So that's why. Don't worry, I'll be fine. I'll just hide in the freezer. I fit in there. This is the defendant lobby. This is... Oh, okay, we're off to a bad start. This is the defendant lobby, all right. But there's no defendant. I've been trying to reach Lana all morning. Where could she be? And where's Emma, for that matter? It almost seems as if... something's been happening behind the scenes. Edgeworth! Knowing you, you've already figured it out. Who the owner of the 77's ID number that is. Yeah, I've been watching. I hadn't watched the new season of Archer, so I just marathoned it the other night. You know, like I had it was like the first night where I could like sit on my couch and have an hour or two to myself before going to bed. So I blitzed through it. It was great. There are no Canadian secrets. Canadians don't keep secrets. Why don't we keep secrets? Well, that's a secret. Well, I have a pretty strong hunch. Looks like I'm not the only one who figured it out. You know, the only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday is because there was still room for doubt regarding his ID record. Strident Song has sent me 1,000 bits saying, also it occurs to me that I don't have a bit badge on this channel yet. I need to fix that. Thank you, buddy. You have a bit badge, you have a mod badge, and the second I start my Old West theme park, you will have a sheriff's badge. We'll discuss salary later. If that number doesn't belong to whom you suspect, then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything. True. Not yet. In any event, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling. 5 minutes, Wright, and Chief Prosecutor Skye will be found guilty. But she didn't do it. I figured you'd say as much. That's why I came here, to hear what you have to say. Baby, you know how much that means to me. And trust me, you know how much I can get done in 5 minutes, so let's do this. This is the first time he's ever done something like this. Lana's hiding something, and the only way we'll ever know the truth is to draw it out of her. The truth? Everything goes back to the SL9 incident. Don't be stupid. Today's the last day of the trial. We don't have time to reminisce about the past. That depends on you. If she's found guilty, you'll lose your only chance to find out what really happened. Yeah. I'll think about it. See you in court, right? And I love it when you pout. Oh, sorry, yeah, I crack my knuckles a lot. I crack my toes sometimes, too. Sorry, Lude. I'm addicted to cracking. I'll try and do it away from, hold on. Have I done... I think I've done it for the microphone. Some people really hate the sound. I hate the sound of, well, obviously everyone hates nails on chalkboard. I hate the sound of forks scratching plates and styrofoam. The second you start, let's say, crumpling a paper plate or a styrofoam cup, it's like honestly, it's like a buzzsaw through my head. I hate it. I make all kinds of It's terrible. This is it. If I'm ever going to find out what Chief Gant has on her, it's now. February 21st, 10 a.m. It's always the same people. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. I fucking love these guys. Normally, this is when the prosecution puts forth its opening statement.
Honor. But before that, the police chief has a proposal to make.
Oh, no.
Chief Gant.
Hello.
Morning, folks. How's everyone doing? Hey, Aji, been back to the pool yet? No, I've been drowning enough as it is in my work.
Oh, that's a good one. Don't think I can top that. If you don't mind me asking, Chief, what exactly is this proposal of yours? Because if you want to get married, get in line.
I think the fade-in is to kind of be like, I don't know, it's kind of emphasized like that he's slowly doing it. It's weird. I love how he just takes so much time. He's very meticulous. It's really great.
Lana, that is to say the defendant, has asked me if she could speak directly to the court.
She wants to do what?
Having heard what she intends to say, I feel she should be granted her request. In the end, it should save everyone a lot of time and trouble.
I don't have a specific voice for him. I just try to sound really chipper and like almost sing-songy. Crimson Harvest! Is Edgeworth is more like Frasier, I find, than Niles. Especially if you're looking at Frasier's show. You know, he's confident, a little aggravated, prone to the occasional dry humor, but much like Niles, also, you know, hoisted by his own buffoonery a bit. No, Edgeworth is a lot more like a more dour Frasier, I find.
What's this all about, defendant?
I just like to make one simple request, and I'll be finished. Well then, what is your request? Your Honor, I'd like you to put an immediate end to this trial. Huh? I confess to all charges against me. On February 21 of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman in the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office.
No. Lana! Yeah, we're off to a bad start.
You can't. Your Honor, the defendant's claim does not change the defense's plea. In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your services. This is bad. Yes, this is the bonus case that was added to the DS version of this game when it was ported from GBA to DS.
It's a heck of a one, too.
But Lana. Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. The prosecution may lack direct evidence against me, but it has sufficiently proven its case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. Also, look at my hair. Appreciate this fine sheen. Hey, Raggles. The back-turning thing is so anime. I would like you to render your verdict now, if you please. Well, the defendant certainly has the right to self-representation. I was going to say resuscitation. Her request is legally valid, although this is an unprecedented situation. Indeed, it appears there is no further need to continue this trial. Even if Mr. Wright may feel otherwise.
Oh, this can't be happening.
It appears the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant...
One moment, Your Honor.
Oh, man. I like how the stress music doesn't leave. Like, this is not necessarily good news. Mr. Edgeworth.
The prosecution has not yet proven the defendant guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Any ruling at this stage would certainly be premature. Come now, Worthy.
Oh, wait.
Come now, Worthy. I understand this is a difficult time for you. But why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut?
Oh, shit.
Huh. I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Gant.
Oh, just... Can you hear it? Like, just millions of boners.
He's super not evil. He's wonderful. He's the chief.
What?
Creating another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes. Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you would have me be. Boy?
Oh.
With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes.
Some kind of deal, hmm?
Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy.
Oh, man, that's a pretty good comeback. I'll give him that.
Oh yeah, he's the best. I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness.
Oh?
Oh, I don't know.
Put a little extra spit on that one. Oh? To whom?
As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Ms. Emma Skye. I request the court hears her testimony.
Mr. Edgeworth, I am exercising my right to self-representation. I don't think we need to continue.
I don't care what you think, Miss Skye. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
I mean, Edgeworth has his little, like, anti-hero of justice movements. I love him. I love him so much.
Oh. The exposure of truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it. Oh, that's so fucking good.
Very well. The court shall grant the prosecution's request. That's okay with you, right, Chief Gant?
Worthy? You'll live to regret this. Mark my words. Ms. Emma Skye, please take the stand.
Looks like Edgeworth has decided to take the horse by the reins. Oh, I hope he's wearing spurs. Oh, poor baby.
Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation.
My name is Emma Skye. My occupation? I'm Lana's little sister, and I want to be a scientific investigator.
2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer Joe Dark of the Joe Dark killings. Pretty self-explanatory now that I think about it. Is this correct?
People are fangirling over Edgeworth, Jumian, not Gant. I'm fangirling a bit over Gant. Yes. I'm trying my hardest to forget about that, though.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to recall those events one more time.
Mr. Edgeworth, please remember this trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. Is an incident that was resolved 2 years ago really all that relevant?
Yes, it most certainly is.
Edgeworth making all kinds of friends. Well, okay then. He sure gave in fast.
Now, please testify about what happened to you 2 years ago.
The trip to yesteryear has finally begun. It's bound to lead to the truth behind this trial. Also, I've just noticed that a lot of people in this game have like weird eyes in the sense that, like, look at Phoenix's eyes. It's like black spiral energy. It's weird. Just like Gant, but Gant looks more like King Gino. Yeah, he's the Loringan. Oh, I feel so bad about myself right now. I wonder if that's like her school ID card, because I think Japan you get like school. I mean, I think it's been like a long time since I was in school, but I think you get ID cards when you're like in high school and stuff, right? Oh man, that's some heavy shit. I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and he took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me. But I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. With his weird onion hair.
It's a good thing you weren't harmed.
I passed out. I don't remember much.
That's understandable. However, please tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, what does this testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's murder?
That will soon become apparent, Your Honor. You've got to admire him for his courage, considering he has no evidence.
Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination.
I don't think Phoenix has realized that Edgeworth is just setting him up, like, for him to do most of the heavy lifting on this one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had a school ID too. I know I had one in college, but I'm pretty sure... I forget if you have one when you're in high school too. I don't know. Did we say? No. Right. Sorry, Emma. 2 years ago, the defendant was a detective at the police department, correct?
Yes. She was second in command under then Deputy Chief of Police Gant. My sister, she was the best detective ever. Yes, I remember. Deputy Chief Gant and Miss Guy used to be quite the pair.
I believe they shared the same office.
That's right.
I'm gonna lower the volume a bit. Just realized it's a little loud for me here. I can't hear myself talk. ASMR. I can't even spell ASMR. That's freaking wonderful.
I'd always sit at my sister's desk.
I don't know why I'm giving her a lisp all of a sudden. I'm gonna avoid that.
And dream about playing that organ. I wanted to play it that day, too.
The police department and the prosecutor's office held a ceremony that day.
Lana promised to take me to dinner after she finished her work.
A man? What is a man? Okay.
Yes, Joe Dark, of the Joe Dark killings. He was a serial killer from the Joe Dark killings.
Joe Dark was brought in for questioning on the day of that ceremony. We were desperate to get anything on him that would lead to an arrest.
When he saw his chance, he fled the room, right?
Upon fleeing the room, Dark proceeded to take the elevator. He must have been in a panic because the elevator was going up. Then he ran into Sky and Gant's office.
There was a lot of noise coming from outside, so I opened up the door to have a look. That's when I saw him.
Oh, I didn't know about the Japan's... Wait, 3 sacred treasures. Isn't that what the Triforce is? No, the Triforce is an actual, like, high-level Japanese, like, clan/family. What was the prosecutor doing there? That day, there were 2 people present during Dark's questioning. Deputy Chief Damon Gant and Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Almost forgot about Gant. Neil Marshall had just received the King of Prosecutors Award. Young and dedicated, he went straight to the questioning room after the ceremony.
I assume that would also be why he was the first to run after Dark.
When Dark grabbed me, I thought I was as good as dead.
And that's when Prosecutor Marshall came running in?
I don't clearly remember what happened then. But...
Can you tell us about that?
Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark. Just then, the lights went out.
The lights?
It was just about this time of year. There was a terrible storm going on, and lightning struck nearby. So the electricity went out? Wait a minute. If it was pitch dark in that room, you shouldn't have been able to see anything, right? Right, but just then, lightning flashed again outside. That sudden flash left an unforgettable image in the scene in my mind. I see. I told the detective what I saw then. The detective? Yes. Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case. Detective Bruce Goodman. The victim. Tell me more, and now he is dead. Tell me more, Detective Goodman is super dead. So, you spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago. Yes, that's what's so scary about this trial. And you told Detective Goodman about what you saw? Yes, but at the time, the words just wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture. A picture? Yes, I think she mentioned that before. Well, Mr. Wright, have you heard enough? No. This picture the witness drew. I believe it has a very important meaning. But the list of evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture. Witness, would you mind if we added this statement to your testimony? Yes, Your Honor. I drew a picture of that scene once, but it seems to have been lost. You drew a picture of the scene you witnessed, right? Yes. I wanted to do everything I could to help the investigation. I can still see it now, whenever I close my eyes. Damn, girl, how you sleep? That's strange. I took over the case after Prosecutor Marshall died, yet I never received any picture. Perhaps the witness is mistaken? I mean, possibly, I don't know. But I did draw it, I swear. I'm just not imagining it. This picture that Emma drew, that reminds me. Guess I should check the evidence again. Well, anyway, let's continue. The scene that imprinted an image in your mind. Can you please describe it to us? Man. That must have been a real shock. Even now, when I close my eyes, I can still see it just as clearly. Really? Come on, girl, get over it. Tell us, why don't you get over it, girl? What were you doing at that moment? I believe you testified that Joe Dark was holding you hostage? When lightning struck and the lights went out, Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark. I was thrown aside and the two began wrestling each other. It was awesome. There were suplexes, a DDT, Dark hit an acai moonsault off of the desk. It was rad. And Chris Jericho showed up. Super. All elite. I'm pretty sure I was watching them. Emma doesn't have any reason to lie. But Lana sure does. I need to get Emma to tell me as much about this as she can. So I already have a feeling. Alright. So. Alright, here we go. So which thing had the drawing on the back? There we go. Mr. Edgeworth, this little girl put all her heart into drawing that picture. And yet, you would insist on denying its existence? Huh? Hey, I'm not the bad guy. I mean, for the first 3 cases, I kind of was, but not this time. Well, more like the first 2 cases.
All I'm saying is that as the prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handed such a picture. That may well be. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Behold!
This is the evidence list for the SL9 incident?
Please turn it over, Your Honor.
Turn it over? Turn it... Ah! What's this? It looks like shit!
Oh yeah, that's a drawing. Yes, what is that? Is this done using paint?
Hey, that's it. That's the picture I drew. Indeed. Two men appear to be wrestling here. I'm pretty sure this is when The Undertaker threw Mankind off the Hell of the Cell in King of the Ring.
Every time they say wrestling. What's the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list?
Me?
Only the prosecutor in charge should have access to that list.
Huh? These lists, they're different from each other.
What?
It would appear, Mr. Edgeworth, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. These two lists fit together to form one. You can see the marks here where they were torn apart from each other.
Nice job, Judge. So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, it's quite obvious what happened. 2 years ago, only half of the evidence in that case has ever reached. Oh man, only half of the evidence in that case ever reached you. What? What? I think the fact that Emma is wearing like just big red rain boots is just so adorable. Like, just go solve some crimes, girl.
Order, order.
Yeah, it's a pretty shitty picture. Like, you guys should commission an artist to do a better picture of the wrestling murder.
But Miss Sky, why did you draw your picture on the back of such an important list?
Because that's what Detective Goodman handed me in the questioning room, Your Honor. Wait a minute. If this list was torn in half, then that means... Your Honor.
Are you alright, Mr. Wright? Your eyes are bulging from your head. And your hair is bulging from your head.
She's very sad. We should all hug her. If the evidence list was torn in half, then there might be more of the drawing on the back of Mr. Edgeworth's list.
Yes, that's quite conceivable. Mr. Edgeworth?
It's possible. How have you not ever checked the back of... It's possible. Let's see. How did you not check before today? That's not conceivable. Oh, this game kills my throat, but I love it. For you, I suffer for you. I love you. Together, we'll open a pizza shop. Just grow old together. I'm sorry, I don't know where that came from.
Is something wrong?
Do you even have to ask? He's like, okay, he's shaking. The controller's vibrating. I'm sorry, Your Honor. There is indeed something drawn on the back of my list. It's that thing. Oh, fuck. No! Yes! The judge's face right now is all of our faces.
That's that thing. That thing that was dancing in the evidence room.
Clearly, this act of vandalism is the work of a certain chief of detectives. I guess he was out of scrap paper. Evidence list restored and updated in the court record.
Very well, witness.
Let's actually take a little peekity-boo. It's gonna mean something in a second.
Will you please testify about this picture you drew 2 years ago?
Huh?
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
What's wrong with Emma? She seemed to be thinking about something when she was looking at the picture. I wonder. Yes, the Blue Badger killed him. Case closed. It's been the Blue Badger is the overarching villain of the series.
This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see were shadows. After that, I must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant.
Yeah, that's testimony.
To think a flash of lightning could burn such an image in your mind.
Thanks to that, though, she was able to show us exactly what she saw.
Well, I don't see any contradictions here. This clearly shows Joe Dark about to murder prosecutor Neil Marshall. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Alright, let's see what we get out of this.
Did you draw this picture right after the incident? I drew it 2 or 3 days later. At first I was in such a state of shock that I couldn't do anything.
During that time, the investigation team was reorganized. Detective Goodman was placed in charge, under the direction of Damon Ganton on the sky.
2 or 3 days later. The memory should have still been fresh in her mind. Excuse me, witness. But can you please tell us why this picture is painted all black?
Alright, that doesn't make sense. So at the time, you didn't even know it was Mr. Marshall who had come to your rescue.
No, I couldn't see clearly. The lightning was so bright, and I was knocked to the floor.
You were knocked to the floor?
Dark had a tight grip on me, but when Mr. Marshall jumped on him, I was knocked away, like this. I turned around, and that's when the lightning flashed.
Poor Emma. I'm just glad she wasn't hurt.
What happened after the lightning flashed?
Flash.
You mean you didn't see the actual murder take place?
Excuse me. I'm trying to cut down on coffee.
No, I'm sorry.
The flash of lightning only drove off the darkness for a split second. The darkness, Riku. Not only that, but the trauma of the situation understandably caused the witness to faint. Do you really need to torture this girl any further?
What? Hey, I'm not the bad guy here.
I like the callback.
Anyway, this picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. Sorry for asking for so many times, but are you sure you drew exactly what you saw? Of course. This is the exact scene. It wasn't influenced in any way from your talks with the detectives?
Are you insinuating we somehow manipulated her memory, Mr. Wright? No, of course not. Mr. Messes with evidence without knowing it. I'd better watch out, or he might find some way to cut my salary. Wait, who pays Phoenix anyway?
I drew this picture before I heard anything from the detectives. So I don't think anyone's story would have been influenced on me. Oh, I fucked up that sentence. Mr. Wright? Is there something bothering you about this picture?
I mean, kinda, yeah. Let's check the evidence. It's been a little while. Alright, so...
So this specifies that the weapon's missing its tip, and you'll notice in the drawing that she drew the knife in a rectangular shape. So here's the problem. I'm looking at evidence from two different cases. So I just got to kind of... Okay, so I think everything from this point is more about evidence from the SL9 incidents. Has blood traces, but that's not really it. Everything else, SL9, rubber glove. No. Stabbing at... No, that's the other one. Goodman's lost item report, a screwdriver from another case. That's the knife with the missing tip. Which, yeah, okay. And here we're getting a bit far back. Okay, yeah, alright. I think I have an idea of what to do. Hey, Sapphire Suspants, welcome to the party! I'm trying to diet, so there's, there's tofu in the fridge. Some plain, low-fat yogurt. Huh? Oh, well... That's strange. She claims this is exactly the scene that was imprinted in her mind. And yet, there's clearly a contradiction here. I'm grasping a bit here. Nice. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction. What? But I still remember it like it was yesterday. Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster if you simply pointed out this contradiction for us. Oh wait, I'm not even doing the voice right. What part of this picture contradicts the autopsy report? The contradiction, of course, lies here. Why am I doing Edgeworth's voice? The contradiction, of course, lies here. Take a look at the knife the man is holding. If you look closely, you can see its tip is broken. Even I don't have to look closely to see that, Mr. Wright. But, Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. See the murder weapon? The tip is broken, too. You cute-ass little glasses. If I recall, the tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body. It was the conclusive piece of evidence that proved Joe Dark was the murderer. I'm afraid it's not so simple, Emma. And where, pray tell, could you possibly see a problem? I'm getting there, buddy. I'm getting there. It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. If the victim was only stabbed once, then the murder weapon should not yet be broken. Ah! What's the meaning of this? Or perhaps the knife was broken beforehand. Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, it couldn't possibly wind up in there. That's right, but what does this mean? The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is the witness's memory is mistaken. That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure she remembered it correctly. I believe you were annoyed at the time, but she was sure she remembered it correctly. But there's no other way to explain this inconsistency. Oh, it's dry. Oh, it's so dry. Oh boy. Good thing I have water. Not so fast, Mitch Edgeworth. Mitch Egworth. Not so fast, Mitch Egworth. There's another explanation. Nailed it. Have you forgotten already? About a little something called falsified evidence? Woo! You're treading on thin ice, right? All I'm saying... Hey, hold up, baby doll. Is that this broken knife tip might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility. No. Order, order, order. Are you saying this investigation really was corrupted? Your Honor, please allow me to once again go over the events that took place the day of the murder. I'm so glad I chose my regular voice for him. Pompadour Cop and his friend were hanging out talking about how much they really love each other. Also, the police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day. Yo, I just realized, why is Gant closing his eyes for the picture? That's not very nice. After receiving the King of Prosecutors Award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark along with Damon Gant. During his questioning, the very creepy Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor... Oh wow, that's a... Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Dark. It is my belief that somewhere in this story, there is a lie. I'm not lying. The man really was holding up a broken knife. If that's true, then there's no other way around this. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. There must have been another broken knife. What are the chances of there being two broken knives? Another broken knife besides Joe Dark's. Could there have been one? There is another one. The witness is this adamant about the accuracy of what she saw. Adamant or adamant? I think they're both okay. It can't just be explained away by simple observational error. Mr. Wright. In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife. I assume then that you have some information about this other broken knife? I think I have a hunch. Crunch of a hunch. If so, please feel free to enlighten us. The murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder. There's only one way. Take a look at this. Here's the real murder weapon. If anything's broken here, it's you. Huh? I'm sure this all must be very amusing to you, Mr. Wright. But man, I really thought this was okay. That's weird. I was pretty confident about that one, but okay. It's coming. Okay. That's Edgeworth's knife. Oh, maybe it's the screwdriver. Let's look at everything really quick. If it's not that, it's not Edgeworth's knife. If that would be fucked up. Oh, wait, I think I remember. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting. I remember now. I'm just... Yeah. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, sorry. I'm gonna present my badge. This is my badge. I'm the killer. Alright. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I'm smart. Alright. Yeah. Sorry. Forgot. Here's a broken knife. The answer lies in the heart of battle. I mean, in the past, 2 years in the past. Right here, inside this picture. This is a picture of the award. This is a picture of the award ceremony. Oh, that's my Edgeworth noise. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's the broken murder weapon. Notice the award Prosecutor Marshall is holding. That's a broken knife. As we earlier concluded, the knife in the drawing was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was in all likelihood from this award. Order, order, order! Neil Marshall was awarded the King of Prosecutors that day. As an award, he was given this broken shield and knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife. Being a prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. This broken knife was the only weapon he had in this dangerous situation. But that can't be. Oh, and why not, Mr. Edgeworth? Yeah. Sapphire, trust me, if we get to the frustrating part and I'm like, look like I'm about to just like start bawling, feel free to hint me in the right direction, honestly. Because if the King of Prosecutors Award knife was the murder weapon, then the murderer and the victim would be reversed. What do you mean? I mean, this man raising a knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh. Oh! I hope my neighbors don't hate me. I'm yelling a lot more. But the prosecutor was the one who actually died. That's true. What's going on here? Getting work notifications. It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions. Wait, I remember now. I remember everything. I'm secretly Jason Bourne. Witness? Mr. Edgeworth. What is it? Could you show me your evidence list again, please? His list? The one with that picture scribbled on the back? Oh! Oh, lunch. The revenge of lunch. I knew it. This picture. I'm the one who drew it. What? You drew that? That's right. The list wasn't torn in half all the time at the time I drew this picture. Fucking awful ass music. All this time I've been trying so hard to forget. I must have locked this part away deep inside me. Yeah, I'd want to forget the Blue Badger too. Perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness's testimony. Would you please tell us what you've recalled, Ms. Guy? Yes, Your Honor. First the knife mix-up and now the Blue Badger? This should be interesting. Emma's recollection. When I saw that man raise his knife, I don't know why Emma's so when I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed toward both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the Blue Badger. He wasn't in... I'm such a jackass. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow. What? This is certainly most unusual. Try impossible. The chief of detectives hadn't even designed him until this year. That would mean he didn't exist 2 years ago. Yes, well... Stop! Please, don't pursue this any further. Jeez, girl, chill. Lana. What's the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair. But you can't do this. I've already confessed to the crime. Why can't you just leave it at that?
Chief Prosecutor Sky.
Ah,
We've already come this far. It's too late to turn back.
silence. The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendant. Use many straps and ropes. In silk scurves. In your handcuffs. And blindfold.
Lana's acting suspicious as shit, yes.
Yeah, Emma and Lana turned into one another. It's a split personality. I'm just kidding. Or am I? Seems we're finally getting to the core of the matter. I think I remember where this is going next. And it's gonna be rough. When you say that man, I assume you refer to Joe Dark? Yes, at least I think it was him. You think? All I could really see were shadows.
A power outage immediately preceded the incident.
Whoop! Scooting.
Is also documented in the prosecutor's office reports.
So then you... I panicked. Oh wait, I read that part. Actually, I just want to check something really quick. Just checking something very quickly. Everything's still good with the picture and stuff, right, guys? Yeah, I think we're okay. I think we're okay. I'm probably fretting too much. All right. Oh wait, I didn't. Why would you do something so dangerous? What else could I have done? It was about to stab Mr. Marshall. She seems convinced that Dark was the only one holding the knife.
But as we've just theorized, Mr. Marshall was the one holding the knife.
Well, I didn't know that at the time. When that Dark guy knocked me down, all I could think of was, I've got to help the other person. What do you mean you think? It all happened so fast, and I was in shock. I don't remember everything clearly. What I did, it's all kind of a blur.
Miss Sky was almost killed before she was witness to a murder about to take place. With so much happening in a matter of seconds, a little disorientation is only natural.
This is audio only, Lude, and now I will begin just rubbing my elbows on the microphone. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think that would sound very good. They're actually pretty soft elbows. Yeah, it's a weird piece of skin. I saw the man about to stab the other person, who I thought was Mr. Marshall. I knew I had to stop the man with the knife. Yeah, at this point, Emma's competence has been... Like, every witness of this sort, the competence is out the window. What you did was very brave, young girl. So then, what happened next? Are you sure about this? Of course. See? I even drew a picture of him here. But...
It was the chief of detectives who thought up this hideous beast. And that was just this year. The Blue Badger didn't exist 2 years ago. This is all quite verifiable. Unless plagiarism is afoot, we begin a new trial. 3 trials in 1. Boom. Edgeworth, out.
I know it sounds strange. I was surprised too when I saw him at the police department, scientifically speaking. I had this nagging feeling that I'd seen him before somewhere.
Okay.
Now I finally remember.
Oh, brother. Just when you thought that thing had caused enough commotion. Tell us, where in the room did you see him dancing? It's a weird sentence outside of context.
He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow.
His shadow? The hedgehog?
So you mean you didn't actually see his face?
With its winning smile and all.
That's right, but I still remember it. He had 3 creepy horns.
This is pointless. That thing couldn't have possibly existed 2 years ago. The witness must be mistaken.
That may well be.
But what's important is what caused her to think she saw what she did. Oh? And I suppose you have an explanation? So then by all means, please tell us what this shadow really was.
What was it when Emma saw when that lightning flashed? Who is this blue badger really?
I think I have a hunch, but...
The blue badger hadn't even been dreamt up when Emma drew this picture. Yet she's certain she saw this shadow.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the defense's belief that on that fateful day 2 years ago, there indeed was something that looked similar to the blue badger. Something that is now sitting in this very room.
Mr. Wright!
In this room?
In this room? In this room? Very well, Mr. Wright. What is it that the witness saw in that instant? Please show us this mysterious blue badger look-alike.
I think it's the vase.
I'm pretty sure it's the vase.
There we go. The mysterious blue badger was in fact this?
But that's... what exactly is that?
I believe it's some sort of jar.
But Mr. Wright, that doesn't look anything like the blue badger.
Indeed it doesn't. As it stands now, it's just a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint?
Our viewpoint?
I've got to show them the correct angle to look at this from.
Oh yeah, I know this is some exciting gameplay, guys. This is exactly, I think I'm almost there. This isn't right. I've got to make it look more like the badger. Allow me to remind the defense in this case hinges on the witness's drawing. Yeah, I think this has to be fucking perfect. Mr. Wright can't match the shape of the witness drew. We cannot accept his claim. Got to find just the right angle. God, this fucking game.
Maybe I should rotate it vertically a bit more, or horizontally.
Oh yeah, that's great, Phoenix.
Come on, Mr. Wright, you can do it. You fucking draw this. You do it.
Got to show them the correct angle. Okay. I still feel like this is pretty close. So glad this game makes you listen to this fucking music so many times.
Oh, come on. That's really fucking close. Oh, shit. What happened, Elena? Why'd you piss off Moobot?
I'm sorry, I don't know what happens. Fuck, okay. So what's this part? Is it this part that I need to... This looks even less like it.
Lena, what the fuck were you trying to say?
Oh my god. Okay, I'm pretty sure I had it right like the second time. Yeah, I'm looking it up. I'm fucking looking it up. Blue Badger jar. It's awful. I was so fucking doing that. Oh my god, that's fucking... Alright. Okay. It's a YouTube video. I'm actually using like the fucking grid on the screen. Oh my god, this sucks, guys. I'm so sorry. I can never make fun of Paige ever again. Oh, fucking finally. Well, is this a miracle or what? Fuck you, Phoenix. Oh my god. Don't make me do that fucking shit again. Awful. Just absolutely awful. And also, this fucking music is atrocious. I'm fucking saving. I don't want to have to accidentally do that again. No one can possibly deny this jar's resemblance to the Blue Badger. No. It can't be!
Order, order! The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious Blue Badger witnessed on the day of this crime was actually this.
Although we all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point? What do you mean? So that badger thing was actually just a jar. That doesn't change anything. I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. Even I don't know where he's going with this. You see, this changes everything. Indeed? Very well then. Please tell us. What's different now that we know the witness saw this jar? I mean, I would say it's the location.
Sorry, guys.
Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. It's an ugly ass jar. That's a very specific angle, I might add, Mr. Wright. Yes, well, knowing this, where could she have seen this jar?
Where?
The location of the jar is shown in a picture taken on the day of the crime. On a shelf in the office of Damon Gant. But the body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified so herself. Yes! Sorry. And it's these two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room, in Chief Gant's office. Are you implying the murderer moved the victim's body? From Damon Gant's office to Lana Sky's office? I mean, if they're in the same room, wouldn't it really be more like section of the office? Okay, double jeopardy is pretty good, Raggles, but... you're on thin ice. Yes. Why would he do that? There's no reason. Exactly. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason.
Do you know what that reason is, Mr. Wright?
I finally figured it out. I hate when he says this when there's still clearly a lot of time to go. Like, you make it, you know. So this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying?
That would have had to have been the impact the man made when he was knocked into the wall.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf on that the jar was sitting on, what would he have hit?
Ah! The suit of armor, holding a very sharp and dangerous-looking sword. Sword? Sword.
Yes. And since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, it would have had to have been Neil Marshall, wielding the King of Prosecutors trophy. No, Mr. Wright.
I like how he calls him Mr. Wright. Like it's very dramatic. Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking. Yes. There is another possibility of what actually transpired in that room.
Another possibility?
Of course, the perpetrator would have had no idea, but nevertheless, I don't know if I can go through with this.
Mr. Wright, what's the matter?
If events took place as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Skye knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall, you mean Mr. Marshall died because of me? No. Yeah, that'll do it. I never imagined her testimony would lead to this.
So it was the witness who took the victim's life, and then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented, except for all those other times it's happened in this court.
Oh yeah. What are you saying? I'm sorry, Miss Skye, but given the circumstances, Joe Dark murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin the crime on her? Oh man, she's losing it. Doing that. Imagine that coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding about what Emma did, wasn't it? I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves that my sister killed Neil Marshall? Evidence? I'm willing to bet you don't.
Yes, it certainly would be difficult to prove this with evidence.
If we don't have evidence, then we'll have to rely on testimony. I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead. We certainly can't get dead people to testify. Phoenix, you Nick. Yeah. Whatever. The Fays aren't here. This has all been a wild goose chase from the beginning. Touche, Miss Skye. Of course. That only leaves us with one possibility. You mean there's still another possibility?
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. For better or worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life. In one manner or another.
That's impossible.
Nicholas Wrightford. Oh my god, the puns, you guys. I'm so proud of you.
Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility left to you. A message from the deceased. Does such a message exist?
I'm pretty sure it does. I've got to think back to the court record. The real murderer's name that the victim may have left behind is in the evidence. This message from the deceased is already in our possession. Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister's a murderer? Do not be mistaken, Miss Skye. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime, There's only one thing we seek. The truth. No matter how painful it may be.
So she was like a minor, and like it was an accident. It was clearly an accident. Like, you're in more trouble for trying to cover it up if that is how it went down.
Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys a message from the deceased.
This is the message from the deceased.
Right. Now then, this is the message from the judge.
Oh, I guess that wasn't right. Oh, really? I thought it was that. Okay. We're gonna scum. Because I'm a crumb bum. No, it's not my badge. Alright. This?
This is that blue badger from before, right?
Such a complicated trial, Jesus. Yeah, I scum it. I scum it good.
Oh, is he just going to speak the killer's name?
Somebody's all sassy all of a sudden.
If that thing could, I'm sure it would.
Looks like everyone's forgotten this is just a jar.
Wait, they weren't being sarcastic?
Weird. A message was left here, on the surface of this jar.
What do you mean?
If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on this jar. It looks like someone wiped the blood away. Yes, but notice, for some reason the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away.
Yes, there's a little line here, drawn in blood.
So what you're saying is these dots were once lines. Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used the few precious moments left to him to leave behind a message. Nailed it. Boom. One that someone apparently wiped away. But blood must have seeped into the jar where the lines changed directions. Precisely so. All we need to do is connect these points, and the victim's message will become apparent.
No. Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us? Was it hose mad?
Your Honor, I believe these bloodstains will reveal to us the answer. We've got to connect these dots to make letters. There's only one thing the victim would have written given the circumstances. His murderer's name. Oh boy, okay. So here it doesn't connect, okay. All for the DS, kids. It's a defense attorney's duty to prove their client's innocence. I like this. Like, he's like, I have to do this. This is my job. God, if I could send Meekins to jail, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Fucking hate that guy. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. Emma. So this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind.
Of all people. She may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life
was Emma Skye. See, Worthy? Can't say I didn't warn you. Chief Gant. Do you understand the implications of what you've done? What? What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in the case, were you not?
Oh, Damon, you bastard.
Ah. Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction.
But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer. That's undeniable.
I'm afraid that's not important. Didn't you know? We aren't defenders of justice. What? We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter. Even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery, ultimately the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied.
What a terrifying...
Ooh, yeah, spicy takes.
What a terrifying man he is when you think about it.
Oh yeah, fucking... What's going on in the prosecutor's office? They might have sent an innocent man to his death. How can he just stand there like it wasn't his fault?
Order! 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 Order!
The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. I think we can keep going for a bit. As long as you guys are okay. It's a long-ass case. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Huh. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Just showing up here, just fancy-free and carefree. Oh, I guess I am. I'll come back later. Whoop. Gumshoe away. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run around while on duty. To top it off, you called me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. I take it Lana's having you run errands again? Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give this to you if there was a break in today's trial. Evidence law? Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day. Evidence law. The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message? Is it I hate you, please die? She said, if you're planning to take him on, you're gonna need this book. Him? I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. Evidence law securely slipped in the pocket. Doesn't look like this book will do you any good now, though. All that's left is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat? Despite all these allegations being thrown at me?
Mr. Edgeworth, the real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unawares of. And the Sky found out she's unwittingly caused the man's death. And now you're telling me you want to do more? Evidence law. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case of trial. Yeah, alright, that's a pretty good book. You've got to be kidding me, pal. You're missing the point, Detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? We're going to expose him. No matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. Oh. The fact that Phoenix had not seen this book before is not so much a slap to the face as like a worrying reminder how ill-prepared Phoenix is for his job/career.
Court will now reconvene for the trial of Ms. Lana Sky. Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, Your Honor.
The Inquiry Committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions.
Ah! Ha! Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Watch me be a smug dick. All the way to hell. Yes, I love him. Such a smug dick.
Yes, well, normally this is where the prosecution calls for the witness. But, cough. This isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have,
struck a bargain? You think I may have manipulated the witness?
I didn't say that.
I like how the judge is on the defensive.
It's just, you see, everyone's been talking and...
Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution.
A solution?
That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses.
What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing. The defense attorney calling witnesses? What are we? Not Japan America?
It's fucking weird ass alternate universe. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses.
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say?
Hell yeah. Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal.
The defense may now call forth its next witness. How is this so weird?
How can the defense not... I'm pretty sure it's happened in other cases. Mr. Wright, you do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over. The defense calls. Time's finally come to bring out the real murderer. The cough-up queen. No, I'm just kidding. It's Gant. Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand.
Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything?
As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be here in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? Just realized that when the judge nods, his beard doesn't move, but his face does, so he kind of has this weird fold. Like, I can't do it because I'm not a sprite.
True. All right, bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand.
All right. Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this? Some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. So, you want to play hardball, eh?
But please, Mr. Gant.
Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto. What's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor?
Oh man, he doesn't mince words.
Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already.
There are still some things unaccounted for.
Oh, like what?
Like the role you played in all of this.
Son, either you're very brave, or very foolish. You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal.
Weapons?
Sure. Take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to.
What? Is that true?
I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify.
That's gotta... Okay, as ridiculous as some things are, there has to be some kind of thing that blocks the police chief from testifying in a court. Because if I were a criminal or a desperate attorney, you would call the chief of police on, like, every crime. So... It's not great. It's not good.
Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you.
Very well. The witness may now begin his testimony.
Alright, here we go. Yeah. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery.
Is that when Drake was arrested? I mean, Dart? No. Is that when Drake was arrested? Was this God's plan?
Him? No, he was lying on the floor unconscious.
Christ, that's brutal.
When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Doc bumped his head.
Hey, Ansel. I didn't see you in there. Hey, buddy.
I see. Everything seems pretty blah, 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 blah. Everything seems pretty clear cut.
If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I'd better hit him hard and fast. Like a street fighter. As I recall, a ceremony was held at the police department that day.
Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. After winning his award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what spooked Doc and made him run away like that. Was the defendant Lana Skye also present in the room? I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Doc ran for it.
So the two of you ran immediately after him, right?
That's right. But Doc made it to the elevator first. So Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. I guess you could say He got lucky. What's this? What's this about a power outage? Oh, that! The elevator stopped all of a sudden, and I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil was when that knife went through his heart, though. That's not funny, man. That's messed up. When I went? Oh yeah, I read that part. Could you tell us what you saw? It was a shocking sight. Oh, that's bad. Neil and that serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together. It was quite erotic. Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor? Yes, apparently he hit his head and is knocked out. Next to them were those two poor girls, Lana and Emma. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done. Sad. Apparently she had... Oh yeah, right. How can you know that? Because of the victim's body. It had already been moved. So that means... you found the body near Lana's desk. That's right. I think you said earlier it was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor? Yes. Anyway. Such a happy guy. So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office? That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt. But moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable no matter what the circumstances. Is that how it really went down? Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. If you're going to stare at anything, you'd better be off staring at the court record. Worthy, always the smooth talker. But which piece of evidence ties Gant to the forgery? Lana did admit to forging evidence, but that can't be the whole truth. Somehow I've got to link Gant to the incident. Alright, I'm gonna have to take... So, Gant is a tough fucking customer. I'm gonna really need to, like, really scrutinize stuff. Okay. Evidence law, no. Oh, yeah. Oh, actually, maybe not. I mean, yeah, it's probably... We're still in the early stages, so it's not that... If you really had nothing to do with the forgery, then how do you explain this? What's that? And what's that on it? A handprint? Chief Gant, your explanation, please. Fucking nonplussed. I don't know. You tell me, son. Huh? My dear Wrighto, don't you know the second rule of evidence law? Uh-oh, not this again. Evidence law. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Tell me, how is that rag relevant to this trial? Hey, the green bean is... I'm doing okay. A little tired, little parched, but super happy to be streaming again and playing video games with you guys. Like, honestly, it's such a nice way to unwind after the life I've had. Was the whole life. I guess it's too early to use this piece of evidence. Please accept my profound apologies, Chief. Would you mind giving the defense another chance? Well, okay, I'll just do it this once, but only because you asked, Ajay. Thank you. I assure you, the defense is terribly sorry. Yeah, sorry I didn't nail you. Okay, so that was a little too easy then. Okay, maybe this. You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this jar, for example.
That's the blue badger you showed us earlier.
A piece of this jar was discovered in your safe. Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier was actually found inside your desk.
It was found where?
You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played part in this illegal investigation. Gant is an absolute fucking unit.
Chief Gant, what's the meaning of this?
Oh! Here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery? Who, me? Or do you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto? However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy. Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. But what? Oh man, if Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work.
Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office, and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene.
My. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together.
This man is in his 60s. Looks fantastic.
Let's see, what was it now? A jaw fragment and a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help you out in any way.
Mr. Wright, the chief of police as the villain is really fucking dangerous. Like, literally, he knows the law inside and out. He's got a ton of power. He's massive. He could probably just bench press all of us. Yes, Your Honor?
When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol.
You do understand that I'm the chief of police, right? And there will be consequences.
Oh.
Indeed. I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again.
My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know.
Alright, Aji. In return, though...
I know. That place, right?
Huh? What are these guys, telepathic?
I'd appreciate it if you stopped making these ridiculous allegations. Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that. What? I'll have you know, back in the day, I once broke into a cattle ranch and tipped.
Mr. Wright, what are you saying?
Anyway, you can't prove you didn't carry the evidence, can you? If you have proof to the contrary, you're going to need it later. Later? What are you talking about? What else? I'm talking about when Righto's prints are found. Yes, if they're found inside my safe, they would prove his investigation was illegal. I've never faced anyone as slimy as this guy.
Anyway, you can't prove when... Oh, yeah, okay, part. What do you mean by that? This is all purely hypothetical, of course. But suppose I did place the items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery. If concealing evidence found at a crime scene isn't forgery... I'm not through speaking yet, Righto. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered. Are you saying that this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation? It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence lists. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Dark was sentenced. Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient? Right. The chief is talking about a possibility, so long as you can't rule that out. Your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time. Tell me something I don't know. Come now, Righto. Think about it. How can you look me in the eye and say that? Because I'm innocent. Remember? Who was it that murdered Neil?
I'm not sure I care for the word murder here.
I get what the judge is saying. I mean, it's clearly an accident, but come on, man.
But in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Skye.
Well, now do you see? Really, Chief Gant? At the very least, there is one very large benefit you've reaped from all this. Oh? I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would, of course, have to be the position you have. Chief of Police. Ooh. The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive. Oh, ooh, that's a good one. Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth? Yes. He was going to be made chief anyway. Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at. Yes, I did that perfectly. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. How did such a sociopath become chief of police? There, it's out in the open now. G, would you mind if I change my testimony a little?
By all means, please do.
I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me, is what he said. Nothing in it for you? Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly, so much so that I capitalize it. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you'd better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Oh, ho, ho. Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone else? True, you might not help out anyone for their sake. But if it would have benefited you, you might decide to assist someone.
Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand.
That's not what I mean.
Very well then. Who is this person you believe Chief Camp may have helped forge evidence?
Well, this seems like the pretty obvious one.
Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky? The defendant?
I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Sky fell victim to an unfortunate series of events, just like Lemony Snicket. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. For kisses. That reason, of course, is self-profit.
Self-profit? What do you mean?
After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Sky was appointed Chief Prosecutor at the Prosecutor's Office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant.
But how would he profit from all this?
He would be able to use the Chief Prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations.
Do you mean to tell me that despite the Chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets?
Oh. Oh, boy. No, buddy. Oh, my God.
Oh, wait. You must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind, I got it now.
Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Sky in forging evidence. Your motive? To appoint her Chief Prosecutor so you could control her. Righto, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Lana... She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant.
I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than conjecture.
Unless... that is also what happened in this incident.
This incident? Which one would this be?
Of course I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The Chief Prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her. Yeah, I'm gonna just linger on that. I'm just kidding. Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt.
Just what do you mean?
What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement.
What?
Order!
Order! I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious.
Huh?
This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in the our law enforcement agency. You accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder? That impossible.
We broke the judge. Oh yeah, Gant is just flat out threatening people. Like, just, it's awful. Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier to understand language. It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now. We're fucked. Looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this.
Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief high-ranking officer of the law is involved in this murder?
Good question. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. Big man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell.
I see. Alright then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got. And it better be good. Show us this evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman. Oh.
So, I'm thinking it's the screwdriver.
Well, Chief?
So long as Ryder here is tossing out things regardless of their relevance. Mind if I toss something too, Audrey? This shoe should do nicely. I'll chuck it right at you.
You always were quite the joker, weren't you?
Oops. Looks like I got it wrong.
Don't oops me. Maybe this boot to the head will knock some sense into you.
I know it's hard with all that's gone on during this trial. But try to think back to what happened in the evidence room 4 days ago.
Now that he mentions it, we did find something during yesterday's investigation. Something that proves Gant entered that room.
Looks like he wants another one of the boots, Haji.
I see. Alright then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got, and it better be good.
It's coming. Thank you. Thank you for the hint, Edgeworth, though. It's appreciated.
To be fair, if I was a judge and somebody accused the chief of police in front of me, I'd be like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? At least I saved them. It was something we found yesterday. Oh my god, I really should have not done this 2 weeks after the last stream. Oh wait, is it the list of people who access the room? Yeah, okay.
This is the ID card list.
Yes, the one who shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. All 7s. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number. Huh?
What? How do you know that?
The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code.
7 digits? You don't mean...
I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was all 7s. Same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Really doesn't prove anything, but let's see where this goes. Chief Gant. Yeah! You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime.
Order, order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say?
Oh, I love that. Nothing. The defense's search in my office was in violation of regulations. And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you. I love that. About the use of this ID card.
Chief Gant, so you admit it? You entered the evidence room? On the day of the crime?
What about it? I'm the chief of police. Whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom, what's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. I pooped in there. Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Ew.
Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he?
No, of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days.
You hadn't seen him in days? Chief Gant, I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman.
What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine the line of Sky's guilt.
No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting?
In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant. There we go.
Oh, no, there's gotta be something more solid than this. Shit. On that day, Detective Goodman had to go. Okay, sorry, no. I got excited. Why don't you come and meet with me tomorrow? Perhaps we could write up your letter of determination. I'm self-employed. It's coming. Thank you. Okay. La 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 la. Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. I get a little carried away, guys. Sorry, sometimes. So, Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. He would have had to give that report to the Chief of Police. Yet you are in possession of the report. Which means you can't be sure he filed it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day.
He needed to?
Yes, to transfer the evidence out.
Oh.
Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room.
I accompanied him?
There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman, could have entered the room. Hold on, let me get what you're going to say next. I, the Chief of Police, Leaf City Police, murdered poor Goodman. Exactly.
But wait. The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card.
Yes. Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of the sort. Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body.
No!
You guys see that rat shit?
Oh yeah, we in there now. Chief Gant, you didn't.
The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. You're forgetting, Mr. Wright. That the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office's parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey, you! Take here this dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time I thought it was a useless clue just taking up space. I think it's the Blue Badger, but...
How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence.
I feel stupid. Well, I see. Maybe I'll use this later to move your dead body, Mr. Wright. Huh? Yeah, I didn't think so.
And I'll help you dispose of it.
Okay, what? Okay, Chief Gant stayed at the police department and Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office. That leaves only one possible way he could have moved the body. The only problem is, how did he get him to move it, to do it? Maybe that piece of evidence really did have something to do with his case. Oh man, I'm drawing a blank. Jesus, give me a second. Yeah, if somebody wants to give me a hint, I won't begrudge them. I suck at this. Has wheels. Well, that's why I presented this. What else has wheels on it? Okay, so it has wheels. Think Edgeworth. You know, okay, so it's a car. I thought that picture of Edgeworth's car was. All right. Look at this photograph. Oh, it's gonna be a long night, guys. No, I'm not safe. Oh my god, no, definitely can't scum if I save. Okay, okay. I appreciate the hints. Let me try it. Let me try. Hold on. Okay, so as a 10. Okay. Really, the picture? Oh, fuck me. Okay. This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body.
A parking stop? Miles Edgeworth.
You mean... The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car. You mean I carried the victim's body? Precisely so. But wait. Even you know. I didn't plan on returning to my office after the ceremony finished that day. But you did return. Tell me, why? Ah! I was asked to go. By Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. So you see, what you were really taking to the prosecutor's office wasn't the screwdriver. but the victim's body in your trunk.
Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car.
Yeah. Unless, of course, you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. To transport the body to your accomplice, Ms. Lana Skye.
Order, order, order! What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttable to the defense's outrageous accusations?
Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It's a photo of the body being taken from the trunk.
Chief Gant, please say something.
I believe... Your time's up.
My time's up?
Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're going to make it in time for the early bird special. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify? I'm invoking that right now.
What? That is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered.
So you're going to just run away after all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have had presented it by now. Why? You think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with.
I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright?
Your Honor?
Do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Skye dispose of the body?
I honestly don't know if I have any. I can't let him just squirm his way out of this. I've got to keep the pressure on. Yes, Your Honor, I do have such evidence.
Then please hurry up and present it. Just remember, it better prove that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman beyond a shadow of a doubt.
I honestly think I was supposed to answer no. Hey, Unlimited, welcome back. I think the fact that they're letting me answer that question again. It's no use showing evidence I'm not even sure of myself. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence. See, Aji?
In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief.
What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, Righto. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Aji, I'll leave the rest to you.
I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright.
This might be a game over.
This is an affront to a senior office in our nation's law enforcement agency.
What? Oh. Oh, they have you going for a second there. Lady Luck, Maybe we should have a word with her.
Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean?
There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony.
A lady who knows the truth? Another witness.
In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony. I just said proof with TH at the end.
But Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify.
There's still someone else. One more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room.
Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person?
Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling the witnesses today, so I'm pretty sure it's Lana, but just in case.
Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist?
She may not be willing to tell the truth, but we can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth...
The defendant? Ms. Lana Sky?
She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 on February 21st. Her task to dispose of the victim's body. In accordance with a certain someone's orders.
Mr. Edgeworth?
The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor.
Very well, the court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now in
Hold on.
Huh? Chief Gant, I thought you were going to eat.
Listen good, Lana.
He's talking to Lana.
I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences.
Wow, he's right in front of everybody. He's threatening the witness.
This guy, zero fucks. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder.
This isn't good.
Of course, you'd never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. Alright then. I've got a lunch date to meet.
Just like hop back in to totally derail.
Okay, if there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess.
Oh my God, this fucking case.
Looks like we managed to stay in the game.
Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth.
That chief, he's something else, eh, pals?
Detective Gumshoe.
Ha ha. I'm not a detective anymore.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Don't worry. I've already decided where to work now. At your office.
My office?
Sure. I'll take the place of that top knot girl you used to work with.
Could he mean, hey, there's my girl?
Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gant's done it again. How does he always get the upper hand?
It's not fair, he has the right to refuse to testify.
Huh. Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said.
Risks. What did he mean by that?
It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds truth.
You mean he forfeits his right to say anything too? Emma, are you okay? Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery.
So she heard everything that's been going on.
Emma? I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved.
Relieved?
Yeah. Now I finally know what really happened. To think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me.
Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps
It was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside. To force herself to do anything and everything the Chief told her to do. I need to use the bathroom really fast, guys. I'm gonna go in to be right back. I hope you guys don't mind sticking around a bit longer. I feel we're in the home stretch for a bit. Take this minute to also take a break. Try and think of who the real killer is. I'm just kidding. We know who the real killer is. We'll be back in 2-3 minutes. I love you. No drugs. Alright, we're back. Thank you for affording me a minute of tranquility. Alright. Let's now go back to the game. That must be why she became so cold. Alright. It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall. Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. You want to blame anyone? Blame society, pal. Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. I see. Well, we better get back. It's time for the final act. Emma, why don't you wait? No, I'm going with you. I want to be there when Lana tells the truth. Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this. The fact that they're giving us a to be continued actually makes me think we might want to stop for here. I'm gonna stream a little more in the week. Yeah, I'm gonna stream more in the week. I don't want to keep you guys too late, and I have to be up for work. It's already been about 2.5 hours. We are in the, as far as I know, the final act. So I would yeah. Oh my god, this game, this final one is stressful. Thank you guys for coming back to stream. I'm gonna take a minute to just really I'd like to just you know, this has really been a really fun thing for me to do with you guys. Every once in a while, you know, stuff happens, and you know, you get bummed out, you know, in your personal and your professional life. So playing games has always been a really great way for me to just relax, and especially games with like stories like this and Chrono Trigger, which, trust me, I'm going back to. It's my favorite game. You know, it brings me back to my days as a kid. You know, this like the escapism and all that. So being able to do this with friends, whether it's, you know, playing online with friends like Pat or my other friends, like playing god-awful schlooters, or streaming for you guys and watching you participate in the chat and just encourage me and make fun of me when I'm doing shit, it really means a lot to me. So we're going to keep doing, but I really just want to take a minute to thank you guys for joining me tonight, and for every other time you've joined me. It's really great. It means a lot to me. So anyway, you know, reach out to me on Twitter. It's always fun to hear from you guys. Like, the fact that y'all take the time to tweet at just some goofy old Canadian salaryman is a lot of fun for me. And I'll see you guys very soon. And you know, I wasn't going to make an emotional, you know, heartfelt speech, but I guess I fucked it up. Sorry. Talk to you guys. Have a good rest of your night. I love you.